Hello, Carl. How you doing today? You get rested up any? Hello, peace. How you doing, gal? Miss Bree, waterfall lady. Hey, Billy. How you doing today, bud? DJ. Well, I'm glad I timed it just right then, Miss DJ. You holding up the work pretty good? What did Lacey do to you? Well, I got to make 6 more videos here pretty quick. I get 6 more done. Hello, Diane. And I'll have 900 videos. She's getting better all the time, Billy. She's starting to fit in. Well, it'll start getting better shortly, Rose. First 2 or 3 days are the worst. I bet Lacey could be a little turkey if she get wound up. Oh, well, she's doing great. Get to be more full of it all the time. Take you a nap if you can. Two eggs. How you doing? Uh-oh. You having to do it by hand or you got a machine to do it with? Savannah. How you doing, gal? I appreciate it, Rose. Now, you hope you have a good afternoon. Yeah, there you go. Not even a crazy little angel one. Pretty warm here today, too. It's 90. Well, they cooler than it has been. Hello, Silver. Yeah. Ooh, that's pretty hot for y'all, isn't it, Bree? Oh, yeah. 54 would be nice. That's a whole lot better than it being 10, though, Savannah. Hey, Ray. Mr. Mike, how you doing? Have you been in before, Scorpion? All right, you have a good day, Silver. Appreciate you coming in. Seems like I remember that name. My little pen head don't remember good. Oh, okay. If Ray recommends him, do you think we need to take that serious? I'm kidding, Scorpion. I'll have to go find his channel. Somebody post his channel. I have to go look at that. I ain't getting on nobody's bad side. Not if I can help it. You have a good one, Silver, and come back when you get time. Appreciate it, Bree. Damn. I can't keep up with one channel. Bree, you like to give anybody a hard time. You must have went to sleep last night, Bree. because there were all kind of one-liners coming up, and you didn't pop in on them. They've been wound up on my channel the last 2 nights. Woo! Well, that's good, Diane. All right, have a good one, Ray. Go get some sand between your toes. All right, you have a good day. Peace. We'll see you tonight if you have time. Hello, Mr. Ringo. Mm, sounds like the place to be, 2 eggs. There you go, Diane. Yeah, if you got lights on that tractor, that'd be the time to do it. Hey, Phil. Lady down here snoring. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Oh, I'm doing good. I got a friend of mine that does that floating and taping for that's his business. And I can do 2 sheets and he'll do a whole damn room. And not enough touch up with sandpaper to even make it get dusty in there. And don't let him get on those stilts. He'll be dancing a jig on them stilts. Mercy. She said she was still hurt and she was going to lay back down, Phil. Oh, Carol Walker. Now, Stacy and Lacey went someplace with Bree. Bree would be the brat. You gathering the pieces up and getting ready, aren't you, Phil? You know, I got that van I'm redoing, and sometimes I think I'm doing the wrong thing. You see people let their vans break down and they just hung out to dry. Sometimes I wonder if a small travel trailer is not the best to go around. Well, you can park it and have a place to live if you break down. Yeah, you get to seeing people like Paula and and a few more of them where the band breaks down and they're hung out for a while. Makes you wonder if that's the way to go. Yeah, it really is. I think the travel trailer and you can put any tow vehicle in front of it. As long as you stay small, I think that makes more sense than any of them really. There you go. I've got a cab over I'm fixing to sell, Phil, but I done figured out that getting up and down to pee in the middle of the night out of that top bunk could get to be dangerous when you're half asleep. If a tow breaks down, at least you can park the trailer and you got someplace to live, breathe. And there's not much that's really going to break down on the trailer. Before I get through, I may have the best of both worlds, have that van and a tow vehicle. I'll have all the bets covered. Yeah, there's some of it that's inconvenient. On this big trip I'm planning, that's one thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, and I've got one of those sitting in a driveway out here that my daughter's supposed to pick up. Yeah, a van is convenient as long as you don't have problems with it. They're not bad. I've told them a jillion miles. They Most of the people on here know this, but for about 3 years I pulled brand new RVs out of Elkhart, Indiana, and I've got like 325,000 miles pulling a trailer. And they're not going to be a car. Carl, I want to apologize to you for that. That wouldn't have happened in my room. Yeah. And it depends on how you use one, too. Yeah, boat trailer's got that long tongue on it. It will. I never had any trouble pulling any of the RVs. only ones I didn't like to pull was the real big bumper pulls, like the 40 footers, something like that. You get a crosswind, they'd give you a fit. But the single axle trailers actually tackle almost better than the tandems do, and they're easier to back. I was told that the single axle casita many a mile. If that casita was just a little bit bigger, that'd be the perfect trailer. Yeah, that's the ideal. And I'm not so sure I'm not going to build one of those before it's over with. Build a little cabin cruiser that would double as a travel trailer. Build it all out of aluminum sheets. Would never have to worry about a place to park. Yeah, I've looked at both of those, but I like the casita better, really. Casita's a good laid out trailer. It's just a little, for one person, it's not bad. Now, two people, it gets a little bit tight. My daughter don't hurry up and pick up this casita. I'll have to license it and start using it again. Then I'd have my van and the casita both. And you know, all of them will work. You can take a car and camp out it with a good tent and do it that way too. On this big trip I'm planning, I'm gonna do my best to spend a couple 3 days at every place I stop. That's about what it looked like, Bill. Casitas got one thing I don't like about them, and that's the everything fiberglass. If you blow a tire, you can't get it shut down pretty damn quick. You can sure tear a fender well up on it. Of course, easy to fix, but that old dirt. Well, I'm glad you made it in safe. Yeah, if you'll, what's the name of them things? And bearing buddies, if you use them right, those things will save your wheel bearings. If you overdo it, well, you can burn your wheel bearings up. Most wheel bearings, you give them adjusted, last forever. The hardest thing on them is to set a trailer sitting one place. And it don't take but a minute to tear one down and adjust the bearings on it. Yeah, that was one thing cracked me up in Quartzsite. Somebody had a big old cabin cruiser sitting out in the middle of that desert they were living in. Hell, I haven't found that to be true, Bill. Of course, some people put one of these trailers 70, 75, 80 miles an hour. Right? When I'm on the road, I'm between 60 and 65 pulling a trailer. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Phil, the motorhome's a whole different deal, especially the bigger you get. You got as much Billy can tell you about driving one of them motorhomes. He drove his all over the world. And it's just a little bit different. Yeah. I was running diesel when I was delivering them trailers, and it worked all right for that. I was doing what they were meant to do. But stopping and starting a diesel is the worst damn thing you can do. And if you put one in the shop, I don't care what it is, it's gonna be at least $1,000. That's the cheapest you're ever gonna get out. If I'm working a truck every day and pulling with it now, a diesel's fine. But these new gas engines are performing just as good or better than a diesel are. I'll tell you a little story about one of them things. I was pulling RVs just from my plants to the staging yard where they signed them out to go all over the country. And we were doing a lot of pulling at night. And I had a Dodge dually, and they took and I had a low beam headlight go out. Well, I pulled it in a dealership and told them I want to change that headlight, and I figured, $20-$30. They called me in a little bit and said, "Yeah," I said, "we found the problem, so it's going to be $2,800." I said, "To change a headlight?" They said, "Yeah." I said, "It's a gold set motherboard, and that's a delay that turns the headlights off after you've been out of the vehicle." I said, "Well, just put it back together." "Well, man, you got to have that headlight." I said, "You put the damn thing back together." He said, "Well, what are you going to do?" I said, "Look, you're talking to a damn redneck from Texas. I'm thinking to go buy me 2 spools of wire, a top double throw toggle switch, and I'm going to take them damn lights off that computer board and put them on that switch." Well, yeah, Dodge Diesel Dually, and they decided they could find a motherboard for $250 then. But I was thinking to do that. I was thinking just wire around it, go straight to the battery, and put me a double switch on the damn lights. Yeah, that can happen. The shackles uh, on springs wear. They need a little maintenance. There were several deals like that I got into. One of them, I had a fuel pump go out. And they came back and said Dodge had one of those fuel pumps in the United States, and the dealer wouldn't turn loose of it. And I said, "Well, just hang on." I said, "Give me a part number." So they gave me the part number. Well, I called Cummins, which that's a Cummins motor. Told them what I wanted, and they told me how much it was. I put it on a credit card, overnighted it, and I had a new fuel pump sitting there the next morning. And that shop foreman said, "Now, ain't that a hell of a note? Have a damn customer have to show me how to get parts that I can't get through Dodge." But sitting still, I wasn't making any money. I don't know if it's still like that on these new diesels. But used to, you could get every part for that Dodge diesel. Yeah, they broke a spring, but a spring's easy to fix. And that comes from overload one usually. In that shop of mine, we used to build cargo trailers before you could go buy these fancy trailers they got now, and build cattle trailers and all kind of stuff. And so I've tried ones with the rubber dampening in them, but that wears out too. But it gradually, and it'll finally wind up to where the wheels are just towed in, to where a spring is either good or bad. Ain't no difference. I'd much rather have springs on anything I pull than I had them torsion bars. I think they claim 5 years on that rubber and them torsion bars. I had another Farmer Brown deal happen to me when I was pulling that Dodge. I was starting to get some slack in the front end. And I had the wheel bearings going out. Well, the first thing I thought, well, hell, I just pop it off and adjust that front wheel bearings, you know. Well, that's all one piece on these new Dodges. Yeah, you can't get the bearings to fix it because they made them oddball size bearings. They made it where a bearing that would fit the axle wouldn't fit the hub. And so anyway, those assemblies were $500 a piece, not put on. So the first one that went out, I went over and started loading up the old ones. They said, "Oh no," I said, "it's a trade-in." I said, "No, it's not either." I said, I'm gonna take them home." They said, "Well, you can't get the bearings for it." I said, "Look, I got a lathe sitting in my shop, and I'll take about 2,000 off the inside of that hub and put standard bearings in that front end, and I'll have a spare then." They didn't like that much, but that's exactly what I did. Them Alaskan campers are neat. All of them will work. You know, there's from the minivans to the super duper $1 million motorhomes. I like the cab over campers, but like I say, I don't get too damn old to fall out of one of them damn things. Oh, okay. No, you gotta admit though that I'm sort of unique in the fact that I actually built trailers and stuff. So you're not gonna BS me about them. I pulled in a shop I was using up there in Elkhart. One day I had a universal joint going out on that Dodge, and it froze up, and so they pulled the shaft out from underneath it, and they messed with that thing and messed with it and messed with it for about an hour, and still didn't have it apart. Beating the hell out of it with a hammer, and uh, finally I said, "Look, let me help y'all." And I took a cutting torch and split that yoke on that universal joint, picked the socket up and put in the vise, and pushed them both in. About 5 minutes, I had the thing apart and a new joint put back in. And one of the guys said, "I ain't never seen nobody do one like that." Hey, Nog. Well, I don't blame you. That's a different deal than what I was talking about. I don't know if I ought to put this on here or not. They, I don't know if most of y'all know this, but I've got Parkinson's in early stages of it. And I was watching a video, well, I guess it was this morning or maybe last night. And there's a guy, and he was putting on with the trimmer with the food. He was getting a tray of food and trying to bring it to the table and turning stuff over and not being able to get food in his mouth. And some little gal finally walked over and sat down at the table and helped him eat. And that brought tears in my eyes. And I thought, that's what I got coming one of these days. If I don't get lucky and have a damn heart attack or something first, they, I guess that's the reason I enjoy every day. They, but that really hit me. If I get to that point, I don't want to be here. But anyway, it's not a put down. It's just something I was gonna. I guess I shouldn't even have mentioned it. Yeah, that's right. No, over the years, I've been real lucky. Over the years, I've got a little worse on shaking, but nothing I can't stop. Well, I could sit down on my butt and let somebody else do for me, and I go downhill faster than I will this way, Diane. But anyway, that was a downer. I should have just kept my mouth shut. And that ain't what this life is about. I guess one reason I feel that way about that, my wife, for about the last 5 years, she was alive. I took care of her 24/7, and I know what kind of load that is. Don't want to put that on anybody. Yeah, I've been lucky. No, but I won't slow down either. Well, I've done extremely well. No, they diagnosed me with that 8 years ago. Phil said something about it. Uh, I catch hell about the smoking, but the reason I smoke as much as I do, yeah, the when I first got diagnosed with it, I went to digging. I'm not going. I've been enough in the medical field to know that it's not all what one doctor says. And I found some studies that they had done, over 50 of them, that the only thing they had found that slowed Parkinson down with nicotine and caffeine. And I've actually talked to doctors about it. And the, that's the reason I keep smoking. Yep, that's right. No, yeah, well, Michael J. Fox, now that dude was a fighter. You had to give him that. That's most of my friends in here right now, so I don't mind talking about it. But when I get somebody come in like they did the last couple of nights and go getting on my case about smoking, uh, I don't feel like I owe them an explanation. And the folks with the hammer in here pretty well take care of that. On that note, I think I'll have a cigarette. They did some tests on that too, and it was they don't really know why it worked. I cornered my doctor up here a few years ago. I'll tell this story and then I'll get off of it. But after the first thing they tell you is you need to quit smoking anytime you go to the doctor's office. And I told him, I said, all right, cut that yeah, yeah, that's right. But I told that doctor, I said, cut that damn computer off. I want to talk to you just one on one for a few minutes. And I said, look, doing as good as I am, and they were talking about how good I was doing. Would you quit smoking? And he sort of dropped his head and he said, by law, I've got to tell you, you got to quit. And I said, well, that ain't what I asked you. I said, would you quit smoking if you were me? And he sort of dropped his head and he said, well, I said, I would take and start cutting down on my smokes. And then if it looked like it was things were getting worse, well, I'd hold it right there. I said, well, why in the hell do I want to kick a winning mule in the ass? You know, yeah, smoking's not good for you. There ain't no doubt about that. I own up that in a heartbeat. So anyway, oh, Diane, I agree with you. I'm not saying that, but I've stood on my own 2 feet all my life, and that would be extremely hard for me to do. I was a contrary young part. I'm a contrary old part now. Yeah, breathe quick on the draw. There you go, Doc. My sister is in a nursing home now and had been for about a year or so, but they diagnosed her with it, and then they finally got to running the test, and they found out the tube from her brain to the backbone had stopped up, and they had to go in there and put a stent in there because it was building pressure up on the brain and like a small stroke. Yeah, well, there's fortunately got a jillion different uh, things that goes with it. One is like hair. I can wash my hair tonight, by in the morning it'll be greasy again. It's just part of it. You lose your sense of smell, and a bunch of junk goes with it. Well, I'm gonna keep going till I can't go no more. Well, damn, we done been on here an hour, and I'm just gonna pop on for 15 or 20 minutes. I guess I better get off here and go do something. I appreciate y'all coming in, and I'll probably see y'all tonight.